Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. So we'll read few shlokas from Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Today we'll read shlokas from chapter number 4 of Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is a mystery. Some people understand it, but then there is quite a few misunderstandings about Bhagavad Gita. One of the misunderstanding about Bhagavad Gita is that they say that Bhagavad Gita was spoken how many years back? 5,000 years back? 5,000 years back. That is the common misunderstanding. So yes, Bhagavad Gita was retold 5,000 years ago, but actual history of Bhagavad Gita is much older than that. And we will learn through chapter number 4 of Bhagavad Gita. So Lord Krishna is teaching to Arjuna about history of Bhagavad Gita. How old is Bhagavad Gita? Okay, so you can repeat after me. The shloka is here on your screen. So Lord Krishna is speaking to Arjuna about the science of Bhagavad Gita. So he talks about contents, history, and application. Everything is told by Lord to Arjuna. So here in this chapter number 4, shloka number 1 to 6, actually shloka number 7, Lord Krishna reveals his own identity and he talks to Arjuna about the history of Bhagavad Gita. So let's read from Bhagavad Gita, chapter number 4, shloka number 1. You can repeat after me. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Imam Vivashvate Yogam Proktavan Aham Avyayam Vivashvan Manave Praha Manur Ikshvakvave Abravit. So Lord Krishna is telling to Arjuna, Shri Bhagavan. Lord Krishna is addressed as Bhagavan. Bhagavan is a title. Like there is a title called Doctor. Doctor is a title. Now another title is lawyer, engineer. Now who can use the doctor title? Can an engineer use the doctor title? No. You need to have a qualification. Similarly, Bhagavan is a title and there is a qualification to be used for that. For example, when we use this word Krishna, in front of Krishna always used Bhagavan Krishna. We never use Krishna Deva. For Ramji, we use always Bhagavan Ramchandra. You never use the word Ramadeva. Why? Because Bhagavan is a word used for the person who possesses Bhaga. Bhaga means opulence. So there are Shada Aishwarya, 6 opulences, which are possessed by all the Vishnu incarnations. That is why we use the word Bhagavan for them. So Lord Krishna is addressed as Bhagavan here. While when we use the Ganeshji, we use the word Ganapati Devata, Mahadev, or Durga Mata, or Durga Devi, like that. So Devi and Devata is a title used for people with godly qualities, but they are not God, right? While Ramji or Lord Krishna, the title used is Bhagavan because they are having Shada Aishwarya. So here the title used is Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. So Lord Bhagavan, Lord Krishna is telling it to Arjuna. What is Lord Krishna saying? Imam Vivashvate Yogam. Yogam. Yogam means this science of yoga. Now we are talking about Bhagavad Gita, and Bhagavad Gita is a science of yoga. So do you know the meaning of the word yoga? What is the meaning of the word yoga? Huh? Yes, Prabhu? Combination, or also you can define in another words as to unite. Combination, unite, very close. So union actually. So here the yoga is the word which is used for union. So what are we uniting here? What are we uniting? Uniting? Union of Atma with Paramatma. That is the purpose of yoga science. So entire yoga, there are different types of yoga, like Sankhya Yoga, Karma Yoga, Gnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, or Ashtanga Yoga. So there are different sections, subsections of yoga. But ultimate purpose of all the yogas is to unite with Supreme Lord, Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord. So Lord Krishna is saying that imam vivashvate yogam. So imam vivashvate yogam means, imam means this science of union with God, which is Bhagavad Gita. Vivashvate is the name of a personality. His name is Vivashwan. Do you know who is Vivashwan? Surya Devata, the presiding deity of sun god at this time, in this current Manvantar, in this current cycle, is Vivashwan. His name is Vivashwan. But then in another cycle, this name will be different. But this current cycle, current millennium, the presiding deity of sun god is, his name is Vivashwan. So Lord says that I instructed this science of union with Supreme Personality of Godhead, with Supreme, to Sun God Vivashwan. And then Proktavan Aham Avyayam. Aham means I. I means Krishna himself. So Lord Krishna is saying, I Proktavan. Proktavan means instructed. So I instructed this science. Avyayam. Avyayam means which is imperishable. Imperishable means which cannot be destroyed. So Lord says that I instructed this imperishable science of yoga to sun god. What is his name? Vivashwan. Or then next is the next. He says Vivashwan Manave Praya. And then Vivashwan instructed to Manave. Manave is the name Manu. Manu, you know Manu? Who is Manu? Manu is the father of the mankind. Yes. So from the Manu comes the name man. You know, we use the English man or human, M-A-N. So that man or man or Manu is the word from which the man is derived actually. So Vivashwan instructed it to Manu, the father of Vivashwan Manave Praha. And then I will use the pointer here so you can see. Vivashwan Manave Praha, and then Manur Ikshvakve Abravit. And then Manu instructed to Ikshvaku, his own descendant, right? So in this way, the science of, so here in the picture you can see that Lord Krishna to Vivashwan, Vivashwan to Manu, and Manu to Ikshvaku, and then further the science was disseminated. So here Lord instructed first to sun god. You know why sun god? Why Vivashwan? So Lord Krishna instructed this science to Vivashwan because sun is the main of all the planets. Among all the planetary system, the most important planet is the sun. If you say which is the king of all the planets, then that would be the sun. And hence, Lord instructed this science to the king of all the planets, whose name is Vivashwan. Huh? Then Vivashwan instructed further to Vivashwan instructed to Manu and Manu to Ikshvaku. So this is the science of Bhagavad Gita. So now sun god Vivashwan, what is the lifespan of Vivashwan? So let's see, Lord Krishna appeared 5,000 years ago. And when the sun god Vivashwan appeared, so sun god Vivashwan, actually in a one day of Brahma, 14 Manvantars come, 14 Manus come. And we are talking about one of the Manus here. So in one day of Brahma, 14 Manus. And Brahma lives 100 years. But one day of Brahma is the 1,000 cycles of Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar and Kali. So the duration of Kali Yuga is 432,000 years. And then duration of Dwapar is 800,000 years. Duration of Treta is double the Dwapara. And duration of Satya Yuga is 3 times or even the 4 times of the Kali Yuga. So you can see that if you calculate that total is more than 2 million years. So Manu appeared more than 2 million years ago. So Lord Krishna is saying that I instructed the science millions of years ago to Vivashwan. So here it is. So Lord says that I instructed this imperishable science of yoga to sun god Vivashwan. Vivashwan to Manu, father of mankind, and Manu in turn to Ikshvaku. So you can see that the science of Bhagavad Gita is not 5,000 years old. How old is this? Millions of years old. Then what happened? Lord Krishna says to Arjuna. So Lord Krishna says to Arjuna, Sneha, that painting thing છે આને આપવું હોય તો તારે there is a painting ત્યાં table પર ઓલી બાજુ table પર there is artwork thing. You can go with auntie. So then the Lord says that evam parampara praptam imam rajarshayo vidu sakale neha mahata yogo nashta parantapaha. So Lord is saying that evam parampara praptim, and then thus the science of Bhagavad Gita was dissipated, transmitted in a parampara. You understand the word parampara? Parampara means disciplic succession, like parampara system, like Acharya, then his disciple, then Acharya, disciple, like that, one to another, like Guru Shishya parampara, they say. So one Guru, then like say Lord Krishna to Brahmaji, then Brahmaji to Narad Muni, then Narad Muni to Vedvyasji, Vedvyasji to Shukdev Goswami, Shukdev Goswami to Parikshit Maharaj, and then at the same time there was a Sutta Goswami. So Sutta Goswami to Shaunak Rishi, Shaunak Rishi to further, like that, parampara system. It's like you passing the parcel, like we pass the parcel, like take this, take this. So here the science of Bhagavad Gita, here in this picture you can see that the science of Bhagavad Gita is being transmitted from one Acharya to another disciple. Now band kar de. So this way the parampara system was continuation. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So what is the importance of parampara? So there is a very important word here, disciplic succession, parampara. The parampara or succession has to be observed very carefully. If we break the parampara system, sometimes people they devise their own parampara. So like say it coming from Lord Krishna to Brahma, Brahma to Vedvyasji, like that. But some people do not follow this parampara and they start their own hypothetical, they call it sampradaya. Like there are main 4 sampradayas. One sampradaya is coming from Brahmaji. So that is called Brahma Sampradaya. There is one Sampradaya coming from Lord Shivji. It is called Shiva Sampradaya. There is one Sampradaya coming from Lakshmi Mata, which is called Sri Sampradaya. And there is one Sampradaya coming from four Kumaras, which is called Kumar Sampradaya. So these are the authorized parampara system. So you follow this parampara. So in South India, Hare Krishna Beta, how are you? Very good, welcome. So in South India, there is a parampara. And what is the parampara in South India? They follow the Kumar Sampradaya. Kumar Sampradaya. And some people follow the Sri Sampradaya also. And then there is a Shiva Sampradaya followers also, many places like Shivji followers. Like, so these are four paramparas, four authorized paramparas. And remaining all are Apasampradaya. You understand? Sampradaya and Apasampradaya means those who do not belong to any of these four sections, they are called as Apasampradaya, which means they are not following the disciplic chain. They are not authorized Sampradaya, right? So here, Lord is saying that evam parampara praptam. So when we want to get a knowledge, like say you all go to university, right? Now when you go to university, what do you see? What is the ranking of the university? Is it authorized by other employment agencies or not? If you go to any school which is not authorized, then what will happen? Then your degree has no use, right? Right? Similarly, when we get the knowledge, we have to check the source of the knowledge. You understand? Like say nowadays, a lot of knowledge is available on the internet. Now, is the internet knowledge source accurate? You have to check the reference. Not necessarily it is accurate, right? Like sometimes, on the public platform also, like Wikipedia and all, people can edit. So we never know like what is right and what is wrong. Like you can also edit whatever you want. So we have to be very careful about accepting the Shastra. Who is talking what? They say that if a milk is very good, right? But if the milk is touched by a snake, what happens? Then the poison comes in the milk, right? Similarly, any Bhagavad Bhakti Shastra, if it is not spoken or it is not coming from the authority, then there is a chance of mixing, contamination. So then they have their own conclusions like that. So here Lord Krishna is saying that evam parampara praptim. So I told to Vivashwan, Vivashwan told to Ikshvaku, Vivashwan to Manu, Manu to Ikshvaku, and then authority followed the science. But then what happened is that sa kale neha mahata yogo nashta parantapa. Nashta means destroyed completely, lost, correct. So kala, what is kala? Time. Time is very powerful. Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Kalosmi, I am the time. So this kala, because of the effect of the kala, something got lost. What is that lost? Parampara and the knowledge, which was being transmitted from one to another, one to another, one to another. But then you see, Duryodhan was adharmi, because he was not following the path of Bhagavad Gita. So the science of Bhagavad Gita, which was told by Lord to sun god Vivashwan, Vivashwan to Manu, Manu to Ikshvaku, and then this parampara system was continuing, but somehow people stopped following Bhagavad Gita. So Lord Krishna is saying it get lost, nasta. Sa kale ne mahata yogo nasta parantapaha. So you see, such a great science, which was spoken millions of years by Lord Krishna, by Krishna, was lost. And hence, Lord had to come again to speak the science of Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. So we can see that Sa kale nehamata yogo nashta parantapaha. So what is the translation here? So the translation is, you want to read, Rahul? Ah, Rahul?
The supreme science was thus received through the chain of discipline, succession, and the saintly kings understood it in that way.
So the kings were very saintly at that time also. This is one of the quality of the kings at that time. The rulers were saintly. So the leaders, they knew the science of Bhagavad Gita. But then what happened? Go ahead.
But in the course of time, the succession was broken, and therefore the science as it is appears to be lost.
So the Bhagavad Gita science got lost. So now it happened during that time when Lord Krishna was here. Now, if we do not follow the science of Bhagavad Gita, then what will happen? It will again get lost. So it is our responsibility to follow the science of Bhagavad Gita, otherwise Bhagavad Gita will get lost. We are very lucky that we got this Bhagavad Gita through Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita is through the disciplic succession. It is not Apasampradaya. Actually, Prabhupada ji's science of Bhagavad Gita, it is called Yatharup, as it is. What Srila Prabhupada ji explaining in Bhagavad Gita is what Krishna told to Arjuna. So what should one get at the end of Bhagavad Gita? What should be the end result of Bhagavad Gita reading? Let's see, we will see from here. Our Visha is not here. Visha, you come here and then we'll start from Visha and then go like this. Okay, Visha, come here. Do you know Bhagavad Gita? Yes, you know Bhagavad Gita, right? Okay, so who speaks Bhagavad Gita there? Who is speaking Bhagavad Gita to whom? Krishna is speaking to Arjuna, right? Okay, good. So what should be the end result of reading Bhagavad Gita?
Understand and know Krishna or God.
Very nice. How about you? What do you want to get at the end of the Bhagavad Gita? He said he wants to know God. What is your idea? Krishna consciousness. You want to elaborate on that?
We should get the intelligence on every decision we take in our life and how we
Right.
from our daily routine.
Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. You want to say something, Rahul?
Enlightenment on the path to God.
Enlightenment on the path of God. Okay, how about Smriti? No idea. Pass. Okay, here, Prabhuji.
To understand what is right and what is wrong.
What is right, what is wrong? Yes, Prabhuji. Krishna consciousness, yes. So, the end result of Bhagavad Gita, everybody say it is perfectly correct. To know Krishna, Krishna consciousness, to follow the path, what is right and wrong, like that. All these are correct answers, absolutely correct answers. What Arjuna got at the end of Bhagavad Gita? We want to get that. That is the end result. What Arjuna achieved at the end of Bhagavad Gita, we want to achieve. What did Arjuna achieve at the end of Bhagavad Gita? So Arjuna says that Karishya Vachanam Tavaha. Surrender. So at the end of Bhagavad Gita, we want to surrender to Krishna. Shri Shri Gaunitai ki jai, Shri Shri Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ji ki jai, Shri Shri Radha Vrajavatsal ki jai, Shri Shri Jagannath, Shri Shri Baldev, Shri Subhadra Mata ki jai, Shri Giriraj Dharana ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaura Premanande. Hare Krishna. So the end result of Bhagavad Gita is surrender to Krishna and follow the instructions of Bhagavad Gita. Now, there are more than 400 translations of Bhagavad Gita. How many? And this Bhagavad Gita is as it is because after you read this Bhagavad Gita, 100% you will surrender to Krishna. 100%. This is my experience. When I came to Canada, I never went to any temple. I only went to temples only on like say Diwali or some special occasion. I never ever, I was not surrendered at all. Then I came to Canada in 2001 and I used to live in Scarborough in Toronto. From Scarborough to downtown, the journey was almost 1 hour. I used to change 2 trains and 1 bus. It used to take almost 45-50 minutes one way, another way 50 minutes travel. So almost 2 hours I used to be on the train and bus. And in Toronto, they have this Metro newspaper. It's a free of cost newspaper. So every day I used to pick up the free newspaper and read the newspaper in the train and the bus. So that was my routine. So I used to leave work morning 6 o'clock. I used to leave home and then take the bus, and by 7:30 I should reach there and then start the work. And then the same routine in the evening. So one day when I was leaving early in the morning, Sneha had got Bhagavad Gita from India. And it was just lying like that on the table, right? So in the morning when I was leaving, I thought that I will take this and read instead of newspaper. That was just like a accidental thing, happened with me in my lifetime. So I picked up that Bhagavad Gita and I started reading Bhagavad Gita in the bus and the train, because there was a journey of 2 hours, morning, evening. So then in 10 days, I got so much absorbed in Bhagavad Gita that I finished the entire Bhagavad Gita cover to cover in 10 days. Then in another 10 days, I read second time. This was like 6 to 8 months after we arrived here in Canada. So then after reading Bhagavad Gita, I told Sneha that we should go to temple now. Otherwise, we never went to temples. We never ever. Like in India also, I never went to temples. Okay, this is what I'm sharing my story. After reading Bhagavad Gita, what I got, I'm sharing with you. So we started going to the temple, not only temple going, but we started serving. So I started washing the pots in the temple. So every Sunday in the Toronto temple, we had about 300-400 people every Sunday. And there used to be lots of big pots. So me and there was another person, his name was Shiva. He was from Sri Lanka. So me and Shiva, every Sunday from 6 o'clock onwards until say 9 o'clock mostly, we used to wash pots. And then Sneha, she used to take the kids classes, we used to have a kids Sunday class, so she used to participate in that. So in that way, we served temple for almost 5 years. And then while doing the seva, then the opportunity came to learn Bhagavad Gita in detail. So we gave examination and learned Bhakti Shastri, learned the Sanskrit shlokas, and then we started conducting Bhakti Vriksha at our homes. And that's how the thing started. Right? So everything started with Bhagavad Gita. Nobody told me to come to temple. Nobody asked me to read Bhagavad Gita. Nobody ever dragged me or gave me a lecture ever on Bhagavad Gita. So this is what I'm sharing with you is that this is Bhagavad Gita as it is, because you get Krishna under the Bhagavad Gita. This is what I got in my life. So whatever today is there with us is because of this Bhagavad Gita, nothing else. And that is why I have deep faith in this book, because it has changed not only my life, but the lives of thousands and thousands and thousands of people, actually. So this is called as parampara system. So when you read authorized scripture which is coming in the disciplic succession, you get a proper source. If the same Bhagavad Gita which was written by, say, one politician, Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan, if I had have read that Bhagavad Gita, probably I would not have got Krishna, because that purpose of Bhagavad Gita is different. There is one Dr. Chitale from Mumbai. He has written a Bhagavad Gita translation. But he has written a Bhagavad Gita translation as if it is a conversation between a patient and a doctor. So in that, I would have not got Krishna ever. You understand? This Bhagavad Gita has changed the lives of many people across the globe. Like in Russia, at this time, the highest spreading any, you can say, so-called religion is Krishna consciousness. It's supposed to be the Christianity, and actually they are socialism, so there is no dharma as such, no religion as such. There are a lot of Christians, but the highest spreading at this time in Russia is Krishna consciousness. A lot of Russians, they are not of Indian origin. They are reading this Bhagavad Gita and they are changing their lifestyle. So there are Rath Yatras in Russia, there are Rath Yatras in America, there are Rath Yatras in China, Rath Yatras in many other places of the countries because of because of Bhagavad Gita as it is given by Srila Prabhupada in a authoritative manner. This is the importance of parampara. If you divert little bit here and there, then you will not get Krishna. Then you will get the concoction. Many people, they use Bhagavad Gita, but they don't present Krishna. Right? There is one person, his name is personality development, Chopra, Deepak Chopra. You might have heard, very famous person. To give a lecture, he charges $25,000 American. He uses the science of Bhagavad Gita, but he will never ever give credit to Krishna. He will never say that this is what Krishna has said. He will use the Krishna's word and present his own way. There are many so-called gurus, they present Bhagavad Gita, but they don't present Krishna. So they don't say surrender to Krishna. They'll say surrender to me. So this is how the things are being done. So here, this is important for us to understand, because if we do not understand the source, right source, then we'll get confused and people will cheat us, like that. So, what is the take-home message from this shloka? Evam parampara praptim imam rajarshayo vidu sa kale nehmata yogo nashta parantapa. So the science was received through the chain of disciplic succession, but in due course, the science got lost. And then Lord Krishna coming again to telling to Arjuna. So what is the take-home message from this? Okay, let's start with Risha. What did you learn, Risha?
That at the end of the Bhagavad Gita,
Mm-hmm.
we want the same thing that Arjuna got.
Wow, big round of applause to Risha. Very good. She says that at the end of the reading Bhagavad Gita, we want the same thing what Arjuna got. And what did Arjuna got?
Surrendering to Krishna.
Oh my God, big round of applause. Surrendering to Krishna. Very, very nice, Risha. Okay, we'll go to the next one. What is the take-home message for you? You came late, but oh no, you have to be. How old are you?
5.
And how old are you? 30. So what is the difference? 25 times better you have to give answer. You can't say the answer like she gave. For her, it was excellent, but you have to give something better.
So the take-home message is like we need to get a knowledge from the Bhagavad Gita as the Krishna said, like not from the other books. So whenever we read a true Bhagavad Gita, then and then we got the Krishna. And then
Okay,
and
so
then we are able
one
to
line.
So like the ultimate is read the pure Bhagavad Gita and surrender to Krishna.
Pure Bhagavad Gita. Okay, very nice. How about you, Prabhuji?
Learn from the authorized sources.
Learn from the authority, proper authority. Okay, very nice. Disciplic succession. How about you, Prabhu?
Keep reading Bhagavad Gita and spread word about Bhagavad Gita so that the chain won't be broken.
Keep reading Bhagavad Gita from an authorized source, and then
You should keep the succession
going. Very nice. How about you, Smriti? To learn from authorized source is very important, right? Anybody else wants to add something? No? Yes, Prabhu?
It was sometimes the succession was broken, but Prabhupada succeeded in giving it as it is.
Very nice. Prabhuji, you want to add something? All good. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you. So the take-home message is that we want to follow the authority. This is the most important. If you read Bhagavad Gita but not from the authority, then you will get confused. So what is the authority? Who is the authority? So we talked about Brahma Sampradaya, Sri Sampradaya, Shiva Sampradaya, Kumar Sampradaya. These are the authorities. And so this Sampradaya, the Guru is called as, has to be a bona fide Guru. What is bona fide Guru? So there are many Gurus you will find on the market. Lots of Gurus are available. But when we find a guru, what is the litmus test of a guru?
When we get Krishna.
Ah, very nice. Guru will give you Krishna and Krishna will give you Guru. So the moment Guru gives you Krishna, catch that Guru. And moment Guru replaces Krishna, don't go to the Guru. You understand the word? This is not litmus test. Any Guru who says that I am God, don't go near to that God. Because Guru is Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Yes, Guru is respected as a God, but Guru will never think that he is God. He will give the credit to his own Guru. When somebody used to offer garland to Prabhupada, Prabhupada used to offer the garland to his Guru, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati used to offer the garland to his Guru. A Guru will not accept any order for him. He will accept it on behalf of Krishna. So this is the definition of Guru. What is the litmus test? Litmus test, when you put a litmus paper, if it is acidic, it will change the color. Alkaline, it will change the color. You know this is acidic or alkaline. So the Guru which gives you Krishna, that is the right Guru. Bona fide Guru. Otherwise, not. So what is the take-home message? This is the take-home. Look for the authorized source of the knowledge. Don't read off the internet. And if you read off the internet, make sure that all the sources are correct. Otherwise, buy a hard copy, it's not expensive. It's authorized source. This book has changed lives of many people. I would say this is a worth investment. And if you ever get 10 days of your lifetime, please read Bhagavad Gita cover to cover. This as it is. I guarantee you it will change your life. I had never read any religious book in my lifetime. Any religious books. This was the first book I ever read, and I was really, really impressed with the clarity in the book, right? So, and then look for the bona fide source which changes your life, right? So then, further, Lord Krishna, so we'll read one more shloka. Lord Krishna further says to Arjuna, Sa evyam mayate adya yogo prokta puratanaha bhaktosi me sakha cheti rahasyam hi etaduttamam. We did this shloka last week, but we are just repeating because it is in the sequence. So what was the conclusion of this shloka last week?
The surrender to Krishna.
So Lord Krishna is saying, Saivam mayate adya. Maya means me. So now I'm telling you this Yoga Prokta Puratana. This Puratana Yoga Shastra, I'm telling you now again, Arjuna. Why? Bhakto si me sakha cheti rahasyam etaduttamam. The secret science of Bhagavad Gita, I'm telling it to you because you are my Bhakta and Sakha. Very nice. These are the two important qualifications. So what is the qualification required to understand Bhagavad Gita? We should be surrendered and we should have some sort of relationship with Krishna. Actually, on Bhagavad Gita battlefield, there were a lot of people, but Krishna never told to anybody else. Arjuna, in the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, 7th shloka, Arjuna says to Krishna that, hey Krishna, I am now confused. Shishyate ham sadimam tvam prapannam. I am surrendering to you, Krishna. Please accept me as your disciple. So unless and until we surrender to Krishna, we will not understand Bhagavad Gita. So there are people who read Bhagavad Gita as the scholars also. There are people in Lakehead University, they do PhD in theology. You understand the science of theology? There is a department of theology in all the universities. So they do PhD. Some of them do PhD on Bhagavad Gita. Some of them do PhD on Srimad Bhagavatam. They write the articles. There's one professor at the university. He comes to the temple many times. And he discusses the philosophy with us and like that. And I also go to him and talk to him. So Professor Berg is there. So there's a department of theology. They talk about it. So what is the difference between them studying Bhagavad Gita and we studying Bhagavad Gita? Huh? Very nice. We are with surrender. We have a bhava for Krishna, while they are studying because they want to get degree, PhD qualification. So they can recite the shlokas also. There are many panditas who will remember 700 shlokas. They can recite very clearly. But what is the difference? Surrender. So scholars reading and us reading is different. We may not be scholar, we may not understand Sanskrit language, but you see, there is one story of Bhagavad Gita. One time, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was traveling to South India, and in South India, near the temple, Vishnu temple, one Brahmana, very poor Brahmana, and he was very illiterate also, never studied any Sanskrit or anything. But then he was told by his guru that you should read Bhagavad Gita. So this Brahmana was sitting in the temple corridor and he was reading Bhagavad Gita. But he was reading Bhagavad Gita upside down. He was holding the Bhagavad Gita upside down. Because he was not knowing any word. He never studied anything, right? So people passing by, they were laughing on him. Because why they were laughing? Because he was holding upside down. But on the top of that, he was crying. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw this and he saw that everybody was laughing at this Brahmana because he was holding upside down. And this Brahmana was, what is he doing? Brahmana was crying.
Yes.
Brahmana was crying and holding the Bhagavad Gita upside down. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu approached the Brahmana. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Brahmana, hey Brahmana, I see that you are trying to read Bhagavad Gita and you are crying. Why are you crying? He said, my lord, I do not know how to read Bhagavad Gita. I never went to any schools. So I do not know anything about Bhagavad Gita. Then why are you crying then? What is that? So this Brahmana said that I just look at this picture and I see that how kind is the Lord that he becomes the servant of his disciple. He becomes the driver of his servant. So looking at the kindness of Lord, I feel gratitude towards my Lord. And that is why I am crying. So as soon as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard this, then he hugged Brahmana. And he said to Brahmana that, hey Brahmana, even though you have not read Bhagavad Gita, you have understood the essence of Bhagavad Gita. What is the essence of Bhagavad Gita? Lord Krishna is so compassionate, so much kind to his own devotee that he will look after his devotee. And he will take any position. So, the purpose is that we need to have some sort of relationship. So, qualification to understand Bhagavad Gita is not PhD. Qualification is not that you may not know any Shastra. You may not have read Sanskrit also. That is not the qualification. When we say people, can you please read Bhagavad Gita? What do they say? I don't know Sanskrit language. That is first excuse. Do you need Sanskrit to read Bhagavad Gita? When I read Bhagavad Gita, I have never ever read Sanskrit in my lifetime. I was never told Sanskrit. I studied in Gujarati medium and then Hindi and Marathi. That's the only three languages I knew. Never studied Sanskrit in my lifetime. So to study Bhagavad Gita, do you need Sanskrit? My experience is no. Right? So what is the qualification required? Bhakto si me sakha cheti. So only qualification is that you need to have surrender to Krishna. If you study Bhagavad Gita in a challenging mood, let's see what Krishna is saying. Then you will not understand Bhagavad Gita. but we have to have same mood as Arjuna. Arjuna had a mood of surrender to Krishna. Then only we will understand Bhagavad Gita. Mystery of Bhagavad Gita. He says Rahasyam. What is the word used? Bhakto si me sakha cheti. What is the word, Risha? Rahasyam. What is it? Rahasyam. Here is the word. Can you say Rahasyam?
Yeah.
What can say? Rahasyam. Rahasyam means secret. What is it? So Lord Krishna is saying, I am telling you the secret science. Why? Because you are my devotee and you are my friend. So if you really want to understand bhakti, then you have to surrender. Bhakti is for people who are surrendered. Bhakti is not for the people who want to challenge God. There are four kind of people who come to God. How many? Four kind of people come to Krishna. First one is a devotee. Second one? Ahartha, Artharthi, Jnani and Jignashu. So what is the Ahartha? Dukhi, बहुत दुखी है. So those people come. Then Artharthi, one who wants some cash from Krishna. They think that God is mad, or they think that Krishna is a fool. They say, Krishna, you give me $1 million, I will give you one nariyal. Is it possible? Krishna is not a fool, right? But they think, and Krishna is very kind, he gives them whatever they want. Then Artharthi, Gnani. Gnani means the devotee. And Jignashu, inquisitive. Some people come to temple and they say, oh, let me see how the temple looks like, what they have done in the temple. So there are Jignashu people. So some people come as a bhakti, they come as a surrender. So if you really want to understand bhakti, then what is the qualification required? Bhakti, surrendering is very, very important. So here, qualification mentioned by Lord is, you want to read loudly, Prabhu, for everyone?
That very ancient science of relationship with the Supreme is today told by me to you because you are my devotee as well as my friend and can therefore understand the transcendental mystery of his science.
Yes, so Arjuna was selected by Krishna. And through Arjuna, we are all selected. We are hearing Bhagavad Gita because we are selected by Krishna. That is why we have got opportunity to hear Bhagavad Gita, read Bhagavad Gita, and understand this. So, what is the take-home message from this shloka? Okay, we'll start with Risha. Okay, what is the take-home message, Risha? If you don't know, just say pass. Pass. Okay, next one.
Like we need to become pure devotee of Krishna, and to surrender we need some sort of relationship, maybe friend or like.
Very nice. So to understand Bhagavad Gita, you want to be devotee and surrender. Okay, what is your take-home message from?
The best way to reach Krishna is to surrender.
The ideal way to understand Krishna or understand Bhagavad Gita is through surrender and developing some sort of a relationship with Krishna. Very nice, right? So the take-home message is to understand Bhagavad Gita, one must follow the footsteps of Arjuna. Arjuna surrendered to Krishna. He developed some relationship with Krishna. So now Lord Krishna has told the history. What was the history Lord Krishna told to Arjuna? Smriti?
Surya or Prashant, and then he passed it to his son Manu, and then Manu passed it to Parshu and so on, all the way throughout the difficult succession.
Very nice. Then what happened after that? So Lord Krishna, imam parampara prapti, imam rajarsha vidusa kale nemata yogo nashta parantapa. So what happened? Why it was stopped? Because the chain was broken. Right? The chain was broken. So the science of Bhagavad Gita, which Lord Krishna told to Imam Vivashvate Yogam. So Lord Krishna told to Vivashvan to Manu, Manu to Ikshvaku, and then the chain was broken. So then the Yoga Nashta Parantapa. Science got lost. And then Krishna telling Arjuna again, why? Because Arjuna was devotee and a friend. There was a chain there, right? Okay, you got it? So this three shloka, you understood? This is the background of history of Bhagavad Gita. So now, yes.
So as we discussed that when we pray to the Krishna, we have to be pure devotee, right? Like we have to remain in devotee mode, right? But sometimes when we pray, like we ask something like we went greedy. Sometimes, like, many times.
Yes.
So how can we change that, like into the devotee mode all the time?
Prabhuji's question, everybody understood? What is he asking? You want to repeat his question? What did he say?
Like whenever we pray to God, we go big and we keep on asking for something. How to get rid of it? How to come out of it?
How to come out of it? Very nice, very nice. So Krishna is our father. You can obviously ask anything from the father. Doesn't matter. So if you ask money, you ask shelter, doesn't matter, because he is your father. Now that little baby, our Radhika Ben, she wants some food or something, like, say she wants some clothes. Does she tell you that please bring me new clothes? She tells you?
Yeah.
She tells
I
you?
mean, no, not
Radhika tells you?
No.
So do you go and buy the clothes?
Yes.
Even she's not asking, you go and buy it. Why?
Because I know that she needs.
Very nice. Let's give a big round of applause to Prabhu. So did you answer your own question?
Yeah.
What is your answer now?
So Krishna knows that, like.
Very nice. So what baby needs, the father knows. She doesn't have to ask you, please give me the toy. You will go in the market and buy the best toy possible. Why? Because you want to see your baby happy. Why you want to see your baby happy? Because she surrendered to you. She has no other shelter than you. If you leave the shelter of the baby, who will look after her? Who will look after her? No one. So she is completely dependent on you. So she is carefree. She is smiling, happy. She doesn't go to work because you are supplying everything to her. Why? What is her qualification? What is her qualification? Surrender.
Yes.
You got the answer?
Yes.
So it depends how much you believe your father. But if you are really surrendered, you won't have to ask anything from Krishna. Krishna will give you whatever you want. Because he knows what is good for you. Would you go and buy a toy which is harmful to your baby?
No.
Why?
Because I don't like if something harmful.
Now suppose she becomes like 7 years old and she asks some video game which is not good for her. Would you give that game to her?
No, I wouldn't buy it for her.
Why?
Because
you love her. Right? So many times you ask from Krishna and Krishna will not give you that.
Right.
Why? Because that is not good for you. You understand? So जीवन में कभी कभी हम भगवान से कुछ मांग भी लेते हैं और भगवान नहीं देते हमें, तो क्या समझना है? नहीं, भगवान की इच्छा नहीं, ये हमारे लिए अच्छा है कि वो नहीं दे रहे हैं, भगवान की इच्छा नहीं. Krishna knows your past, present, future, everything he knows, right? So कभी कभी बच्चे लोग जीत करते हैं बहुत, मुझे पापा ये चाहिए, I want this. Then what do? If you really love your child, you will never give him, which is not good for him. But if you are a spoiled father, then you will. That is the difference between asking Devi Devta and asking Krishna. Devi Devtas, they are obliged to give. Like, Hiranyakashipu asked the boon from Brahmaji. What did he ask? I cannot be killed upside, downside, here, there, in permutation. Why he asked? Because he wanted to be Amara. Brahmaji was obliged to give boon to Hiranyakashipu because it was duty of Brahmaji. You understand? Duty means you are bound. Like, say, in examination, you write certain answers. If their answers are as per the rule, then a teacher is obliged to give you that marks. It is not that teacher is giving you a favor by giving you that marks. because you have written a correct answer, the teacher's duty to give you that mark. You understand? Teacher is not doing out of anything favor. Similarly, when you worship Devi Devta, they are obliged to give you. But Krishna is not like that. Krishna will not give you something which you not get benefit out of it.
Right.
Suppose you ask a lot of money from Krishna, you have a question from
Yeah, Prashant ji, but Hiranyakashipu did a very strong penance. उसने बहुत तपस्या की.
हाँ
तो जो तपस्या करेगा उसको विष्णु भगवान ने भी तपस्या का फल दिया. So there is a difference between tapasya and just asking for something. So not every day will give you something if you ask for it. If I ask for a chocolate now, I will not get it. But if I do penance for a chocolate for years and years,
Yes, yes, yes.
strong dedication, they will give you.
Yes, yes, absolutely, you are correct. There are tapasya, austerities, like some people, they go to Vaishnava Devi. What is the austerity they do? So उन्होंने मन्नत रखी रहती है. They have some sort of a मन्नत कि मेरा ये काम हो जाएगा, या फिर I will walk bare feet and shave my head, and this is my tapasya. This is my mannat, austerity. Some people will go to Ganesh ji and say, I will do Ganesh Chaturthi for so many days in sequence, and this is what I want. Or some will say, I will keep every Mangalwar or Somvar. Shiv ji ka var karte hain, Somvar, girls karte hain. So why do? They want a better husband. So I will 11 सोमवार करेंगे तो 21 सोमवार करेंगे तो हमें अच्छा पति मिलेगा. भगवान देते हैं, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है कि नहीं देते हैं, है ना. So in this way, people do various tapasyas. Like gopis in Vrindavan, they did tapasya for Lord Shiva. What did gopis do tapasya for Shiva? Lord Shiva, there is a Gopishwar Mahadev temple in Vrindavan. Wherever there is Krishna temple, there is Ganesh, Shiva temple, sorry. Why gopis did tapasya for Shivji? Gopis did tapasya for Shivji because gopis wanted a husband like Lord Krishna. So they said, if you ever give us a husband, give only Lord Krishna's like husband. There's nobody like Krishna. So gopis got married to Krishna. So when you go to any particular Devi Devta also, we can ask them that please give us the blessing that we can become a pure devotee.
Yes.
So you see, it is Lord Krishna also says that one who worships my devotee is more beloved to me than those who worship me directly. So if you worship Lord Shivji, in the mood that he, Shivji, please give us me blessing that I become very dear to Lord Ramji. Oh, Ramji will be more happy and Shivji will be even double happy. Because you are worshipping him to go to the beloved Lord of himself. So like that. You understand? You got the answer? Every answer is clear? Okay, very nice. So now I think we'll do Aarti ceremony because we don't have much time. Any other questions? No? Very good question. Thank you, Prabhu. So let's do the Aarti ceremony. I want to thank all the devotees who are joining us online. Thank you, Dinesh Bhai from Toronto, Lalit Prabhu from Toronto, Nolin ji from Dubai. Thank you so much for joining us. Very nice to see you all. So we will do Aarti ceremony. Hare Krishna.